Hi everyone, this is Leonora. Today I want to talk to you about the hallmarks of awakening. So there's often, conversation about people saying, I've awakened, or I had an awakening experience. And I just want to put that in a different context, because an experience can be an awakening, and there are certain characteristics that are common to that experience which I wanted to share. But what is often confused out there is that people who've had an awakening, or people who hear about that might think that, oh, I'm now awakened. So, as if there is a place called done. So when we have an awakening, it's usually, something so profound has been experienced by us that we have something kind of outside of the context of what has been our normal life. And that experience itself has kind of moved and kind of shaken us into a place that has perhaps more stability in one sense, but that may be rocking our world in another sense, because we no longer can live the way that we lived before. So, there often, in my view, there is no single awakening experience which is complete, but rather that there is a journey of awakening, and that an awakening can happen in baby steps and be integrated as you go, or awakening can be so profound that you have more to integrate than is possible within the event of the awakening, which is actually what happened to me something like 30 years ago. But currently, in one sense, I'm continuing to be in a process of awakening, and it's an ongoing spiraling journey towards a coherent singularity, or a unique expression of me, which is anchored in divinity. So having said all that, one of the things that I wanted to share, is the awakening characteristics. So one of the key things about awakening is that the mind drops every position of knowing that it has. So we might not even know that we're doing that, but when we have an awakening experience, we have touched something which kind of stills the mind, takes us beyond the mind. So one of the hallmarks of awakening is this letting go. Yeah, so letting go is not a conscious choice. It's a direct experience of a movement out of the normal way of perceiving the world into a direct connection with a part of yourself, which is, I like to think of as your soul. Yeah, it's a part of you that is unfettered and untraumatized and can never be hurt and is always here waiting for you. But it's something we tend not to engage with in the world that we live in. So one of the key things is in the awakening is that we have let go completely of using the filter of all that we know, and we're having a direct experience. So what helps us to have awakening is really to cultivate a relationship with an experience of not knowing. So we don't even realize that how much what we know is shaping us, because much of what we know unconsciously. It's actually within the energetic vibration of our field, or the holographic field, the toroidal field that each person, each human being, each creature of any kind has. So when we pay attention to this field, we can, through contrasting and through inquiry, we can explore the feeling sense of what it feels to know and the feeling sense of what it feels to not know. And cultivating a comfort or a familiarity with not knowing is helpful to the awakening experience, because it tends to move us into a direct connection with the soul and outside the filter of what we normally look through. So when we feel this connection with not knowing, it's not like there's a single place called not knowing. There's kind of a gradient of not knowing, and the more you work with not knowing, the more available and the deeper you go into not knowing, and the more contrast you have in regard to what you know. So when you cultivate that way of practicing, you can have a direct experience of truth. And when I say truth here, I'm talking about a field which is undivided and undifferentiated. It's the ground of being. You know, it's our kind of fundamental, foundational, unchanging reality. And the doorway into that truth is stillness. So cultivating stillness in contrast to activity in our field of awareness, and cultivating connection to not knowing as a vibration in contrast to knowing and the one who knows, are key pieces in helping us shift the material that is attached to us, or that we're attached to, that is limiting our ability to find wholeness and to find freedom and to move as love in action rather than as fear in reaction. Thanks for listening. I hope you find that helpful, and please subscribe and share this video with others if you feel inclined to do so. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.